not only vitamin D from some sources, but vitamin D from dark leafy green vegetables, the dry D. Herbs and other plants that contain anti-inflammatory compounds, turmeric, green tea. Although green tea has something in it that is really bad, but a lot of the green tea on the market has fluoride in it. And that was a surprise to me. If you buy already bottled up tea, the fluoride in big doses can cause bone diseases. And it also doesn't allow your cells to take up all the oxygen that it needs. And if you want to look this up, just fluoride in green tea. Could be from the water that they're using. But they're watching as that contributes to bone density. I know we're going to talk about inflammation and weight, but that's a problem too. Basil, ginger, garlic, onions, and it says soy here, but I would not recommend soy to anyone because it messes up your hormones. Regular exercise, cytokines, that's the inflammation, things that the naproxen takes up. Another one that takes up these cytokines is pseudonorepinephrine, and that's in some anti-cold kinds of medications. How would you guys like to have a copy of one of the computer programs that we're going to work with tonight? Maybe allergies? We'd like to give one away. Yes, the naproxen sodium film. Thank you for putting that in there. So if you would like a copy of, let's say, inflammation, which we're going to use, and allergies, I just set up a flyer on this. Let's look at the 4 different things that we could use. Allergies, digestion, food additives. I have a lot of food additives that cause the inflammation that I'll be sharing with you. So this is going to be an upcoming class. And for the people that are on with us here, if you'll send me a little email at sharryedwards@gmail.com. I'll put that down here in the chat. All of you, I don't see many new people here. All of you know that you can chat with each other. Go to either the top or the bottom of your screen. Hit that little green tab. Go to anybody's name there and right-click, and you can chat with them. And you can chat, it's epinephrine. 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 Sometimes it's called pseudoepinephrine, but it has that same binding chemical that binds with the inflammatory cytokines. That's how it helps you get rid of your achy, flu-like symptoms. So these are just some of the things. C-reactive protein levels, and we can monitor those. C-reactive protein, there's 2 different kinds. One's an E and one's a C, and you can look at that on the next 5-day professional class. April, I think. Let me look. April 18th and 19th is the 2-day class, which will be a pre-class to that. And I just had it up here. So it's April 22nd to the 26th. And with this class, we are giving away these 3 softwares extra: allergies, digestion, and food additives. And depending on when you sign up, we'll throw in inflammation for you. We want everybody to be in these classes because there is so much obesity going on, and it is not the person's fault. It is all of these inflammations and food allergies and toxins. I have a list here of the 10 worst toxins in in your food, and I'm going to give you the notes. Hexane, which is extracted from soy and rice proteins. And that is an F sharp. And they use it in glue. I didn't know how else to say that, but to make glue. And it helps kill the peripheral nerves endings. So, peripheral neuropathy. Hexane, Hexane. Also says there's a high level of aluminum in your foods, and that's a G sharp. Lead and arsenic from China, so that's a G sharp. They're using like ground up seashells and gravel in cheap vitamins. That's not a good thing. And there's something called carrageenan, carrageenan, and it's made from seaweed, and a lot of times polluted seaweed. They use it in like ice cream and yogurt and jellies, jelly babies and jelly beans, things like that. They're finding that it causes a high degree of gastrointestinal inflammation. Acrylamides, Acrylamides, cancer-causing chemicals produced by cooking carbohydrates, frying carbohydrates. French fries are the highest of all, and these acrylamides block your ability to use vitamin C. And we're going to try to put all of this in a chart for you. So if you want the chart, please get in touch with me. I don't have the chart done yet. Maltodextrin, that's coming, Richard, from corn, and it is the same as glucose, an F sharp, and it's in soda pop and candy and processed foods, particularly tapioca's, stuff like that, starches. Hidden MSG, we have a whole article here on hidden MSG. Let's see if I can find it. I was in shock. List of aspartame, but we have one here on MSG too. Says don't go to Kentucky Fried. Lots of MSG. McDonald's. It gives you a list of what has added MSG. Ranch dressings, Big Mac sauce, chicken McNuggets, crispy chicken filet, chili, lime, tortilla, hash browns. And it gives you a list of what's in Burger King and all that. So MSG really sets off your hunger button because the MSG chemically does something to the body's glutamate, MSG, monosodium glutamate, and causes your hunger button just to kind of go crazy and lack of satisfaction. There's not hardly anything at the kernels that doesn't have MSG in it. So they have Chick-fil-A, Pizza Hut. If you want to avoid all of these things that cause inflammation, now we've had this up before that glutamate and glutamic acid and glutathione all work with the body's ability to make dimethyl and trimethylglycine, which cleans up the muscles and the trash in the muscles, and that's all associated with fibromyalgia, but it's also associated with the inflammation in the fat cells that cause your body to make more and more fat cells because it triggers the body into thinking it's starving because these things are void of nutrients. So I will get that chart together. Let me know if you want a copy of it. there is so much going on, like aspartame. Aspartame is, there's that belly fat thing that I said is that Yersinia, whatever, and it's the same frequency as choline. Let me pronounce that for you. This takes you to a site that says, oh, this one fruit, it will help you, and we'll sell it to you for this much money. Yersinia, Tarcinia, I think it's Bogia, also in hibiscus, which is a flower. But it helps eat up the belly fat. It's really hydroxycitric, citric, hydroxycitric acid. And it's in high amounts in this one kind of fruit that they want to sell you for an outrageous amount. But back to this list of aspartame, something like 20, 35,000, 6,000 things that this aspartame is in. Uh-oh, somebody opened their mic. Did you want to say something? Guess not. Steve is posting some great stuff. Let me read part of it to get it on the recording. A great gel cap product to reduce inflammation is Inflamagic. It has 7 wild-crafted herbal essence oils and reduces COX-2 by over 90%, but does not affect COX-1, which maintains your mucus lining in your stomach. I may have the COX-1 and 2 reversed here. A podcast for the developer is show number 47 at naturalnews.com. And it's all posted in the chat. If you don't know how to get the chat, go to that little green tab at the top or bottom and just open chat and you can see some of that. 74, not 47. I am so dyslexic. I am sorry. But good stuff there. So we're looking at things that cause inflammation, and this is just aspartame stuff. These are some of the stuff that we're going to be looking at in the next few minutes if somebody will allow us to put their vocal print in here and look at some digestion things. How food allergies cause weight gain. Another very nice article, and this one is wheat. There's things like margarine. There was 5 things. I'll bring that up in a minute. But these are some things that cause some people inflammation. Wheat, dairy, tree nuts, and corn. So remember how you can go into Nano Voice and test yourself and read that little rabbit piece, I guess. Eat some almonds, and 10 minutes later, check again. See how the almonds are doing. Test yourself. I just was finding out that last night that I'm having a breathing reaction to eating peanuts, not salted, just roasted peanuts, and I began to have labored breathing. But I've had a cold, so that may be part of it. But big time wheat, and again, wheat causes allergies, causes the gut to be permeable, eats right through the lining of your bowel, causes all those stuff to go interstitial, and then your body starts to create antibodies for it, and it thinks that the wheat is something you shouldn't have, especially people with A blood. Now, once you go off wheat, the first thing that you're going to find, the stomach goes down, it's not as swollen, and it's not as hard. So if you've got a big, hard stomach, you probably have allergies in the gut to wheat and dairy and tree nuts. And by the way, we didn't think we could do all of this in one setting, so we're probably going to be doing the same thing for the next 2 or 3 happy hours. Here is some herbs, and I brought this up because of Richard. Some sources of this ursolic acid that we were talking about that changes the white fat, the bad guys, into brown fat, the good guy. So holy basil, bilberry, devil's claw, elderflower, peppermint leaves, periwinkle, lavender, oregano, thyme, hawthorn, cherry laurel leaves. And if you go online, there's probably information about how to make teas out of this. But it says it comes from apples, pears, cranberries, prunes, and other fruits. Then isolated from the protective wax-like coating. Why would it be from the wax-like coating? I don't understand that. Okay, I found this a bit surprising. This was a nutritionist who said these are 5 foods that you should never ever eat. And I'm having trouble getting it to come up here. It's just sitting there spinning. But one of the things was concentrated fruit juice, because it so runs your sugar up so high that your body goes into starvation mode and says, keep everything. I found 2 other articles that we're not going to have time to go over, so I'm just going to put those in the chat. One of them was how antibiotics and antihistamines that you take can cause you to gain weight because it hits this trigger button somehow that we're in a state of starvation. Saturated fat. Stay away from saturated fat. Maybe want pizza because that was a biggie there. So any kind of concentrated juice, fats, wheat, whole, pastas, that kind of thing. Margarine. And talked a bit about some of the enzymes and proteins that help the body. So I'm making that into a chart also. So a lot of information here that's in our inflammation software, in our allergy software. Great, Steve. Steve is posting information about ursolic acid. I found it on Amazon. I am wondering why this doesn't come up more, why they haven't brought it up. The 2 things, the hydroxycitric acid and the ursolic acid. John says the respiratory response to the cooked peanut could be from mycotoxins or the rancid cooking oils of the nuts. They were in the shell and they were just roasted in the oven. There wasn't any oil on it. Nuts are notorious for containing mycotoxins. I believe that. I felt like it was some kind of mold or something. So I think my lungs were already compromised because I was just getting over this grunge, and that's how I found these good numbers for getting rid of this crippy crud that people are getting. Aflatoxin is a potent carcinogenic in peanut. Yes. Richard, do you want me to turn on your mic? Are you on here twice? I'm unmuting you, Richard. You're on.
Is that me on the, can you hear me now?
Yes, we hear you.
Wonderful. Yeah, aflatoxin is a byproduct that can occur in peanuts when they're stored in the silos or in any storage. Aflatoxin is a mold that can grow on the peanuts, whether they're in shell, out of shell, roasted, not roasted. So a lot of times, and particularly when you have that respiratory kind of reaction, I think that it's the mold reaction that occurs, because a lot of times when you have a reaction to any kind of exposure to mold, the first thing that'll hit will be a respiratory reaction like that. So peanuts are tricky, and I love peanuts, but they're tricky because of that storage issue where they can get an aflatoxin growth.
I was going to be really sneaky and take your print while you were talking, but I can't see Audacity on here. Do you?
Let's see. I don't see it, but I could keep talking. You know me, I can keep talking. I've been muted over here banging on the tabletop. Not because... Wow, what was that? Oh, you're moving the mic.
I just tried to bring this over from another display here. Okay, well, let's just see if you have a peanut problem. What have you eaten today, Richard?
Today I had a an organic whey-based shake earlier this morning, and then this afternoon I had some Caesar salad with some baked chicken breast on it, and nothing that I'm aware of with peanuts in it. Sometimes I do eat protein bars that have nuts in them, no grains but nuts. I'm attempting to avoid wheat pretty much. I'm eating more corn than I should, but I'm avoiding wheat as much as I possibly can. And I'm pretty suspicious of nuts just because I know too much about mold and mildew, and I know how easy it can get into nuts when they're in storage. There's even a lot of controversy about how coffee beans are stored because they can also get mold that nobody's ever talked about, and nobody has a good resolution for mold issues because they don't know enough about ozone yet.
So you think ozone is a good solution? We can do
ozone
right
you could do it that way. And also, I used to design ozone primary disinfectant systems for resorts and spas, another of my careers. And the great thing about ozone is that if you're going to clean something with chlorine or Clorox, it needs 30 minutes of contact time to break the cell wall of the pathogen it's trying to kill. Whereas ozone is so reactive, which you can produce as a gas, it doesn't even have to be as a liquid, as a gas, and it'll kill the same pathogen in less than 5 minutes because it's that much more reactive, which also makes it much more inclined to break down. It breaks down by 50% every 5 minutes, so it dissipates very rapidly. So you can pump in high concentrations, kill a whole bunch of stuff, and then it dissipates, and 20 minutes later, whatever you've been killing is dead and the room has cleared out of the off-gassing. So ozone is it's a strong tool. So yeah, producing it as an audio would be an incredibly great addition to anybody who is doing a detox or working with candida or any kind of mold or yeast issue, I think.
Can you write that up and we'll post it someplace? That's good stuff.
Write that up. Oh boy, write that up. Yes. Yes, I could. I'm a big fan of ozone. It's a powerful tool.
For those of you who just joined us and have never been with us before, and I only see one person on here like that, what we just used was a program called Audacity, AUDACITY. It is free on the internet, audacity.sourceforge.net. Somebody could type that in there. And we have taken about a 30-second sample, actually 35-second sample of Richard's voice. This does not look like it is voice to me. It's just too out of whack with the rest of it. So I'm going to listen to it. Some click or something, so I'm going to get rid of that. And this little one, don't know unless he was like screeching or something. The click there. So things that just look oddball, they probably don't make a lot of difference, but we just want to get them out of there and just export. For those of you who, what did we just do? Didn't I just put this in here, Richard? And now it's not there. Richard Allergies, there it is. We make him volunteer a lot. So this is what he said in time domain, and we're going to change that into frequency domain. And that is also missing. We'll jump over and grab it from the other display. And so this particular program changes this from time domain, well, I did peanuts or blah, blah, into the lowest note to the highest note. Now, there is a booklet called Bioacoustic Basics on our website, soundhealthoptions.com. Go to the middle column, and there's usually always a free software there that has links to the Audacity, just pick up that, and links to this Bioacoustic Basics book. Sir Richard, allergies. So what would you think? You think dairy or peanuts is going to come up? Or do you know?
I'm more fearful about dairy because I am a cheesehead.
Well, do you see all these little ink blobs in here?
Yes.
That's all inflammation.
Yeah, I have a lot of, I just got back from a 4-mile walk and I stand the rest of the day. So I stand about 12 hours a day and then I walk for 3 to 5 miles a day. So there's a lot of inflammation and it would be wonderful to get it being reduced down. And you're talking about Garcinia gambosia reminds me that I should be taking that again. I have been taking it on and off for years. It's a great, simple herb. You can get it's OTC in capsules. You don't have to buy some silly fruit to get it. You can just buy it as a substance.
And what do you ask for? Garcinia?
Garcinia, that word that you were saying earlier, that Garcinia gambosia.
And that's a B. I couldn't read my own writing.
Yeah, it's a Cambogia, gambosia. And it's been around and come and gone down through the years, but nobody's ever been able to figure out how to make it a controlled, pharmaceutical, so it sort of slips through the cracks. But it's a great herb.
And Richard is a master herbalist and is the co-host for Happy Hour and Blog Talk Radio. So we want to look at his voice in here at this gray area, and you can see there's a big piece missing here. He's got a lot of lows that we need to pay attention to down here. There is some things that I don't particularly think I want to take. This little one is high. Things are too high in his system and not working. It's in the gray area, and I'd much rather concentrate on these lows. So I went in and took a high and a low. No, I took 2 lows. So we have the computer, we hit the little red points here, and the computer chooses what frequencies it wants. Like this one is 171.93. I don't see that on here.
If I may, what is that odd drop around 410? There's that odd sort of valley at around 400 to 410? Yeah, in that area?
Yeah,
what's that?
This is called a spice. And it's a point of uncooperation in your body. But we can't put an S in there. And we could go look and see what it really is. I could do your chart in one note. There'd be that note right there.
Of course, it's the note of G.
Yes, you're always out on the note of G. But when people take the courses and they learn what these other things are, for public courses, we have to pretty much stick to highs and lows. Other things I would look at, this little open space right here, that's a really important piece of inflammation right there. So I'm going to take this one that's very close down here and roll over that one. When things are open, like more open, that means they're more active. So that last one was high, high, and a low, low, and a high. The others I would look at, of course, this where your chart is split in 2. I would look at these 3 lows. I would look at this inflammation. Anytime you see these real dark ink blobs, it's going to be inflammation. But I think there's plenty of inflammation in here already. So we could get rid of some more of the lows or highs or whatever, but I can't find something I'm willing to get rid of. So I would have to do an expanded chart, pull 48 points instead of just the 24 that we're looking at. We're looking at 2 sets of 12, and there's a way that we can pull 24 and double that, 48 points, and look at all of those together. But that's not for the public. That's what we do in the 5-day course that we would like to see everybody join us. Yeah. So I'm going to save this list of numbers. Remember that. 289, blah, 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 Richard, allergies. So remember one of these notes anywhere, so we know that we've got the right one. So the next thing, since I suspect inflammation and allergies, you want to go to allergies first or inflammation first, Richard?
I think allergies, only because I think allergies would probably lead to giving me information about the inflammation.
It is very easy to do this. Oh, Tommy says we missed something at 495. We'll go back and look. He said there's 2 points on top of each other. We should have looked at. Now what that did was knock all these numbers in here. So Tommy is a very professional acoustic practitioner. He's been with us somewhere between 15 and 20 years. So we're going to go back and look at what he's saying. At 495, right here. Oh, right there, 2 stacked on top of each other. Yep, we should have looked at that. Usually you take the high one or the most open one. And we probably could have gotten rid of that one. So instead of backtracking right now, which we can do later, thank you, Tommy, for bringing that up, we're going to go ahead and use the frequencies that we have and just ask the computer to give us a bunch of reports. And you just click and it just pops them up there. Ooh, you see those toxins go by? So the first thing that pops out is a correlate chart, and we want to look at anything that is 4 or above. And we have F sharp, kidney process, and A. I is physical degeneration, usefulness of resources. It's probably somebody breathing, Judy. Let me cut Richard's mic off for a minute and see if he's maybe got some waves in the background or something. Okay, I shut off all the mics but mine. I'll open Richard's again. So we know that we want to concentrate on F sharp, the process of how the body deals with temperature and immune system, adrenals, water retention, potassium, calcium, sodium levels, and then the note of A, how the body uses its resources. We already know there's a lot of inflammation. You can see it in the chart. It looks like somebody dropped ink blobs on it. And look at that one. That monosodium glutamate, that big list that we had. Have you eaten anything with MSG in it? Here's all the MSG stuff. I've muted your mic, so you'll have to open it back, or I will. Let me unmute you. This is all the MSG stuff, Richard.
I'm suspicious of the Caesar salad dressing.
But wouldn't that just be a tiny bit?
Well, it doesn't, it's gnarly.
One of the things people don't suspect, steak sauce, soy sauce, salad dressing, meat tenderizer, all of those have MSG in it. And his is high. And it says it's an amino acid only because it's made from glutamate. So we probably would have Richard keep track of what he was eating. Croutons, Phyllis said. Any croutons?
Oh, yeah. Caesar salad, croutons. Yep.
And probably MSG just to keep it fresh and nice looking. The other immunoglobulin that shows usually heavy is IgG. Now, Ig is another kind of immune reaction like itching and hives. But IgG is usually the one that causes you to gain the weight. So you have some interleukins here. May initiate inflammation with allergies. Different kinds of interleukins that tries to protect the body. Isn't this, I can't pronounce it, GLYCYRRH, is that the one that's in licorice?
Yes, yep.
And it says yours is low. Do you have any symptoms?
Not respiratory, but I do have inflammation. I do have joint inflammation and a little bit of ankle inflammation.
Okay. Well, we see that the process of your kidneys are in stress. So what would be some herbs to support your kidneys?
Well, the hibiscus that you talked about as a source for the Garcinia earlier, hibiscus is a great one because it's a nice, well, it makes a great tea, often called Jamaica in other markets. And it's a nice, lightweight, easy to drink, good flushing the kidneys, very gentle and soothing to the kidneys.
We should have you do a whole section on herbs. That's wonderful. You're just a walking encyclopedia. Bromelain is low. Hay fever, inflammation. Is that pineapple? Do you get bromelain from pineapple?
Yes, I get it from a bottle on my shelf, but yes, you can also get it from pineapple. Yeah.
Okay. So I have those Trigonal pine bark.
Oh, that would be good. Oh, it's high. Oh, that's interesting. Huh?
May release histamines. Histamines come out when there's a season change from spring to summer, and then from the fall into the winter, there's usually more histamines that come out. That can be ameliorated with methionine if you take some good amino acids.
Well, and also here, you see, we're into spring here, even though we have cool nights. Today it's in the upper 60s, and right before the call, I was out walking for an hour in the middle of trees blooming and flowers. I was out in shorts and short-sleeve shirt walking in the, everything blowing around of the day. So that's, yeah.
And look at these genes. Gluten, gliadin. Gliadin is just a smaller, a different kind of gluten. But both of those are high. They cause, especially the GMOs. What does methionine do? Okay, hold on. Someone is asking chat. The W stands for omega. The Greek lowercase omega looks like a W. Okay. Oh, I knew I was going to sneeze. Here's the methionine. Helps make cysteine, which is good for the stomach lining and digestion and making everything you need to digest your food, and taurine, another amino acid that helps muscles and the heart. And here it says take with choline, which that Garcinia is the same frequency as choline. Boy, we just go around in circles, don't we?
I used to take a lot of lecithin granules because it's a great source of methionine, choline, and inositol, which is, I liked it because it helped lubricate the synaptic jumps in my brain. It was also a moderate diuretic and a great, it just helped keep the fat moving through the system in a good way.
And John is saying there's all kinds of MSG and stuff sprayed on prepackaged salads and food. They also spray hydrogen peroxide on your food.
If we're lucky.
To make it look better. Well, why won't that get off my monitor here? Minimize. I'll have to kill it, I guess, to get it off here. Well.
Wow, that was a lot of MSG. Wow. I saw that for a moment. I don't know, I saw a little bit of a page of report while you were fighting this page to go away. I saw a brief page of report that looked like it had a lot of MSG on it.
You mean this one?
Yes, thank you. I'm glad I'm leaning against something. Yikes.
And these are just different. It doesn't mean that MSG was there 6 times. It means that it has this many uses. If any of these uses were repeated, then we'd say, yes, we have MSG there more than once. But it looks like, in your case, the culprit is the MSG. It's there a lot. Sodium metabisulfate. I don't know what that is either. Can worsen allergies. We could look it up on the internet, or somebody. We have so many people helping us on chat. This is just like, okay, I'm sitting here talking, but there's everybody here on a round table adding to this class, and it's wonderful. I love it. That's the only one that's low. We don't care if a toxin is low.
Also, if I'll add a comment to something John said in chat about institutions using MSG in salads. I used to be in the restaurant business, and there's a product, I can't remember of its chemical constituent, but it was a brightener for salads, and you would cut lettuce if you were doing a high volume, like if we were doing a sit-down for 1,000 or something, a catered event, we would use a product where we could cut up the lettuce, and then we would soak the lettuce in this product, and it would keep the edges of the lettuce from getting brown. So it was some nasty compound, and you could actually taste it. When I would eat a piece of lettuce with it on, it would actually be slightly overly alkaline, or it would have a very bizarre effect on the taste buds. But it wasn't MSG, but it was some kind of whitener that would keep the lettuce from browning.
Well, did it do anything to you when you ate it, like give you diarrhea or something?
No, but it would make me feel weird. More of a neurological toxin effect would be my thing. I would never eat. I eat a lot of salads, and I would go out to a salad bar, and as soon as I realized that's what it was, I had to stop doing that, because you have to do something. If you're going to pre-cut lettuce, it's going to tend to get brown on the edge, and so you have to put it through some kind of chemical process to stop that action from happening.
Okay. This is your inflammation stuff, and we can also look at food additives. These are high in their herbs that reduce inflammation, so we're just going to say yay. That's good stuff. Bisabolol, don't know what that is. May inhibit granulomas from inflammation. You'd have to look that one up. And I'm going to hurry through this so we can get to the food additives. B6 is low, not good, because that helps cover the organs internally so that there's less inflammation. And B6 is particularly instrumental in things like joint pain, carpal tunnel, non-flexibility of tendons, ligaments, gristle, joint. So you might want to look into getting some good B6. Thymosin may reduce inflammation. That's low. I don't have the slightest idea where you would get thymosin. It's an activator. You'd have to look it up. Pregnenolone high. That may be high because you're not using it. That is a hormone that both males and females use. And you can tell when your pregnenolone gets too high you get very amorous and in need. I said that politely.
Thank you.
We have another thymosin here. So that gives us a clue that thymosin really is part of the issue. I'm going to write that down along with this other number that we wrote down. Thymosin. I'm not sure what that is. But the fact that it appears twice is an indicator to us. Bromelain we knew about. Trypsin. There it is, inflammation from sports injury. You're not complaining about that. You are complaining about sort of muscle twinges from your long walks, maybe? There's that.
That's what I'm thinking, yeah.
Okay, we have those two. They lead us to different things. I want to look at additives. Likely we're going to come up with MSG again and ask you to look at, that's under food, I think, isn't it? Yes. Because a lot of food allergies, and one of the people who has written a lot about food additives that cause problems is Mike Adams. He had several articles that I looked at in preparing for this that looks really good. Let's just look. We looked at minerals and all that. And check out chemicals. Mainly I'll look at chemicals. Well, some flavonoids are used as additives. Fatty acids, toxins. Okay. Whoa. I'm a little dumbfounded by this. We need to know what you ate today, Richard. Boric acid, calcium acetate. I can't pronounce most of these. Food coloring, green food coloring, sodium benzoate. This stuff must stay in your body because from what we talk about, you eat really well.
I don't really eat anything packaged. I mean, the closest I get is the Caesar salad I get from somebody I know. But I don't eat much packaged food.
Acetylsulfate. You know, that's what most of the articles said. Fresh fruits and vegetables even sometimes are very devoid of nutrients. So farmers market, fresh fruit, fresh foods, things that look bright and healthy to you. Those are the chemicals. Phew. There's no flavonoids, no toxins. That's a lot of chemicals here.
I do live in an agricultural area, so I'm wondering if I'm sucking things up as I'm out walking around, because I'm actually walking around in fields that are, well, that could be, Judy. Could be protein bars. Protein bars are a spooky mix of chemistry.
Sulfite-treated lettuce challenges sulfite-sensitive subjects with asthma. I believe that. There are some other articles here. Let me see what we came up with.
Well, I've seen people who have a lot of issues, again, living in an agricultural area, particularly in the primary thing here is grapes for wine industry, and they actually, during the season, this season, but during the more winter part, before we go into spring, they actually dust the crops most morning, just pre-sunrise with sulfur.
Is that the
and that's
sulfite?
partially because, well, that's some of the sulfites are organic, but also the elevated levels of sulfur in wine are from the fact that they sulfur them because the vines are very sensitive to mold and mildew, and because the grapes are so immunosuppressed, themselves and stressed out and don't have correct micronutrients in the soil, they have weak immune systems, so they're very susceptible to mold and mildew. That's my personal view. That's my disclaimer.
Okay. This says 71%. Let's go to at least 125. These are some of the foods that cause inflammation and in turn cause weight gain. So you have inflammation and you also have that thymosin. That's an issue. I also wanted to share before we left the sulfites. Because remember the methylation map that we've used so many times to look at where people are starting with this stuff? It's with sulfites, and wine has a lot of sulfites in it. So I dug a list of sulfite foods. Here's the sulfite part of this. The sulfites, which are mainly preservatives, can't be turned into sulfates, which are cofactors. Sulfite sources. They're cofactors for amino acids and vitamins and minerals. So here are some of the issues with sulfite sensitivity. Chronic sinus congestion and runny nose. I must be going through that at this point. What am I eating that's sulfur?
A lot of the dried fruit is sulfur-coated to preserve it, to keep it, again, from being mold-resistant. You have to really pay attention to fruits that are dried.
And I have been eating cranberries, dried cranberries. Salad bar syndrome. Sulfite sprays on vegetables and lettuce. Molybdenum taken as a whole food supplement can easily toxify the body. That's down here, molybdenum. I thought I had a list of foods here. Oh, different kind of sulfites, food labels, wines. It's in salad dressings. And here's the list. Alcoholic drinks, baked goods, condiments. I knew I'd sneeze. Dairy product substitutes, dried vegetables, fish, shellfish, grains, pasta, jams, jellies. Look at this. And if you have time, we could go see. We could do Richard's mapping and see if he has some issues right here, which would lead us back to sulfite. And the glutathione is here, and also here in dimethylglycine and trimethylglycine. So if you're stuck here or here, we know that there's some NSG issues. Let's run Richard through that really quick. I know we're out of time. And if you guys want any of these charts, I'm going to try to have them done by tomorrow or the next day. Okay, got the map. So let's go grab his. Now we also put mapping in with this new course that we're doing in April. That seems to be a really important issue in looking at where or how these came about. So there's a 2-day course, and there's a 5-day course that we would like to have people be part of. Mapping. So we already looked at, there's vitamins down there, so what shouldn't, I guess we should look at all of it. is on with us, and he has done wonders with these programs and put maps in here for us to look at. So if we went back to the beginning here for mapping, we can go to help and look at these worksheets and maps that Tommy has created. Now, where is that opening? Well, I don't see it anywhere. Ah, here it is. Now that scares you, right? That's a lot. Scares me. So I use this little simple one to start. So let's start looking at this. Angiotensin converting enzyme, that's not there. But CBS and MTHFR. Now that is a genetic issue with the ability to use methionine. NAD, oxalosuccinic acid, THF. Oxalosuccinic is in the Krebs cycle part. It's over here, but it's not on the simple map. The oxalosuccinic is not on the simple map. SOD's up here somewhere. And I know we're over time and I'm trying to hurry. Now look at this. This is twice that angiotensin converting enzyme came up. I'm going to write this down. That thymosin and angiotensin converting enzyme. You have any high blood pressure, Richard?
No.
Nitric oxide.
Even when I was in the hospital, I mean occasionally it would go high, but nothing chronic.
Okay. Nitric oxide synthase. This helps you use oxygen at a cellular level. Helps with hormones. T5P. Looks like some B vitamins there. Okay, so this is our map. Nitric oxide synthase doesn't allow nitric oxide to be utilized at a cellular level. And that's all involved with citrulline, ornithine, arginine, cyclic GMP. Then we jump over here and you have the NAD and the MTFR. You can go read more about this for anyone new at heartfixer.com. About 50 pages of information. You go look all this up. It's more than we can deal with here. But this is the kind of thing that we do for people in the clinic. We do it for people online to see where they're coming from, where they're going. And we want to get these methionine and these B vitamins, both of which is sulfur-based as coenzymes. So I'd want to look at how you're using your bioavailable sulfur as a coenzyme. So we know that you're being poisoned with MSG. You have an issue with thymosin that I don't know what is. It's on this map. I thought it was thymidine. Don't know. PHYMO. When something shows up more than once, and there is a set of instructions that goes with this, that says if this is high or low, this is what you do with it. Thymosins, proteins, originally thymus, diverse biological. the thymus that's like deep in your brain, isn't it? Anti-doping, Richard.
No.
I'm kidding. Not truly occurrence of thymus. It doesn't.
A family of heat-stable polypeptide hormones secreted by the thymus gland.
This doesn't tell me a lot.
Well, it's part of the cycle somehow of the thymus.
We'd have to go deeper. Judy Van Dyne says, thymus is considered our primary immune center. Thymus gland is located in the chest. Oh, that's the one underneath the sternum that they beat on to...
Yeah, sort of top of the sternum, sort of in the notch of the sternum. And it makes sense that it would be stressed out if I have all this inflammation and I'm having food reactions to toxins, that it makes sense that the thymus would be stretched to the max.
And John says the ACE regulating hormones are regulated by the kidney, so we already knew that your kidney was in stress. Many things weaken the kidneys like toxins. So MSG, the thymosin, so your immune system and your angiotensin converting enzyme. All stuff we need to look at. You know, sometimes you think that you need to be an encyclopedia or a doctor or whatever to interpret all this, but you just go with what shows up more than once. And I think it was last week for the professional class, we did the redundant muscle, and we did everything by muscle, looked at what muscles came up more than once, and we did a whole chart that way, and then at the end we were correct in what was going on. So if you think you don't have any expertise in any of this, boy, my computer is shutting itself down. This is really weird. All this stuff coming up. But I have like a ton of things open here, trying to share. I will try to post these articles when we get finished. We have like an hour-long class that we then post on our site under Sound Health Options, under Happy Hour at the bottom here. It has archives. And this one, Have You Been Exposed, is from last week about biohazards. So we're going to continue this next week. So if any of you have friends that you suspect they have allergies or toxins or inflammation, they can come back and we will continue on the same thread for the next couple of weeks, because we can't possibly get through all of it in one setting and can't possibly understand it with just one client. Thank you, Steve and John, for all the comments and links, and that was great. That makes it better when everybody can contribute. And if any of you guys would like to teach a happy hour, or you've got a subject matter, let us know, and we'll try to work it out. A lot of you, incredible lot of you, are very knowledgeable. Much more than I am. I just know the numbers. I don't really know all the stuff behind it. Announcement, Tommy, for those of you who missed the Professional Sunday class last week or week before, they're going to do a rerun on Wednesday, tomorrow, from 6 to 8 in the evening, Eastern Time. So get in touch with me or Kenny here at the clinic, or Tommy. He's behind part of this. That is so sweet, Cincy Bob. And remember, go get your free copy of Bill's book, Secret Sounds, Ultimate Healing. It's on the front of her opening page at the bottom. And send that link around to everybody you know.
Sharry, can you show us where that link is? We can't find it. A lot of us can't find it. Thanks.
Oh, well, I've just been told about it. Let me go look at the email. At the bottom of the page. Let me go get the email and see what she says, Tommy. Hold on a second.
I've contacted Jill and her webmaster asking for the link or to see where it is on the web page, and I haven't gotten a response back yet, so they'll hopefully get back to us.
Let me look through all of this. Jill ebook. Because it's been posted on the Business of Disease.
Well, you're looking that up. I'd add a comment back to Steve in chat about, I've always had a correlation. He's talking about kidney support, a great testimonial for kidney support. I also think there's a I know there's a relationship between the adrenals and kidneys because the kidneys are the adrenals ride the kidneys like you would a horse. They're right up there, just riding right up there. So I've always felt that there's a correlation between kidney stress and adrenal stress. So when I've worked with people as an herbalist, I've always seen that if there are kidney issues, that eventually there will be adrenal issues. So I think supporting the kidneys is a very good thing.
It shows as kidney processing, though. Boy, I know she sent the information, and it was Jill ebook bottom opening page, I think. Well, that's not there either. I just don't want to go through all my private emails in public looking for this. Jill's ebook bottom. Let's see if I can find it that way. Jill. It was from Jill. Business of Disease. No, it was after this. Here's a little bit, I don't know, Adventures in the World of Healing and Sound, free sound health MP3. She said it was in that same section. Well, I was probably lying to you, Tommy. Boy, that's weird. You see all those stripes across my display?
Yeah, must be lots of stuff going on. There you go.
How about books? Sound healing book. I love her music.
I think Cincy Bob just posted it in chat.
Oh, he found it? Ah, okay.
That's something called Healing Music Secrets. Okay.
Is it at the bottom of this? Oh, click here, incredible will offer flowers. It's got to be here someplace, and we just can't find it. Jill is not the kind of person that would say it's here and then not have it here.
Sherry, for some reason, I'm thinking it was going to be available only the month of April. That it was that she made the offer now, but it would only begin in April.
You know, that could be because the email that she sent me said it was going to be on the bottom of the front page. Thought maybe there'd be a section of downloads here. That's probably what it is. It's not going to be available till April. She and Sonia were working on this. Sonia Barrett, that is doing the business of disease. I just don't see how Jill gets all this stuff done. She's got hundreds of paintings and music and links.
I've got the email open that came through Sounder, and it says the complete book on the sound healing work of Sharry Edwards is available for the month of April as a free download at the bottom of the home page at jillwingsoflight.com.
Great. Thank you, Susanna.
You're welcome.
Well, there was some free stuff there too, Bob. That's good. Right. And my apologies for keeping you till 7:20. I want to grab all of this chat stuff before it disappears. I didn't get to grab it when we did our Sunday show.
Chat has become quite the resource for information.
Yes, I said it's just like everybody coming together, like round table, Knights of the Round Table, coming together to share information. I really like that.
I'll thank everybody, but I have to jump off to engineer a show in 9 minutes, so I'm jumping off. Thanks everybody for all the information. We'll poke at me with it another time. Yes, and Garcinia gambosia, great herb. Thank you.
Bye. See ya.
Bye.